Do you like a rustic chic look here? Rustic, looks shabby, mixed together? Well, if you do, come on in. So I have some projects just for you guys. Hello, everybody, and welcome into Emily's Upcycled Home.
Project number 1, upcycled muffin tin. Now I know you guys see a bunch of these in the thrift stores, on whatnot, wherever you purchase these. We're going to give these a cute little transformation by just coming in with some Dixie Belt paint in the color cotton, which is this beautiful white shade here. I'm going to come in and just brush on, not worrying about a full coverage coat because I do want some of that metal underneath. Now I do decide to come in and add a little bit more paint on the inside of the muffin tin pieces, but I go ahead and leave the backing all that rustic tin look. Now, coming in with some grunge gray by Dixie Belle, we are going to layer up and seal our piece, just adding a little bit more to the surface of our piece, seeing how we're working with a gray undertone anyway. So I'm coming in with this preserved moss that you can find at Hobby Lobby. It's this beautiful shade of green. We're going to attach those to two of our circle of our muffin tin here. And to do so, I am going to come in with just my hot glue gun, add a little dab of hot glue, and attach these pieces together. With some little eggs that I made from a dry clay out of another project, I'm going to go ahead and add these cute little pieces into our little centers of our moss and our little muffin tin. Now I want a second egg for that other one, so we're just going to come in and build it. This is how we did it, just adding a little bit of air dry clay, forming it into an egg shape, and then just letting them dry. Once this dries, it'll all match in color, but for now we're going to put it in there with a little hot glue to attach it all. Now I want to embellish this with some floral. We're going to go with a little bit of a shabby cottage vibe here. So I'm going to come in and make a little bouquet with some floral and greenery. And I want to hang this from the top. I see this on a pegboard in a cottage home, attaching all these little pieces together with a little strip of lace and some hot glue. Now my hot glue is not sticking right now because of that wax, so make sure, keep in mind, where you add wax, hot glue and wax are not friends, you guys. It does not stick. I found this lace piece. I'm going to go ahead and cut it into threes, and we are going to add a little bit green embellishment with this velvet ribbon that I believe I got off of Temu, and we are just going to bind those together, making a cute little bow to add to the top of our piece here. Now, once I have this layered up the way I want, I'm going to go ahead and attach it with some hot glue here to the top. And then we'll go ahead and fluff that out, trimming up the lace pieces at the bottom, giving it a little dovetail look here. Now for embellishing also, I'm going to come in with this little tag here. Wood tag, paint it white and distress it. And then just stamp a little bit of script stamp to it to embellish our little tag even further. I'm going to attach this all with just a twine piece of string and then some hot glue. And if you notice here, my thing is no longer attached because of that wax that's already formed. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more glue, but if this doesn't stick, I'll come in, sand that off, or add a little bit of Mod Podge and then add that glue surface again. And here is our finished look. If you notice, I went ahead and came with IOD birdsong mold and added a little mold to the center of the piece. Continued on adding lace to our hanging element here. But look how cute this piece looks. Just a cottage little piece that will look so adorable hanging on a peg holder in a kitchen or in an entryway. But you guys let me know what you think of this piece down in those comments. And if you like my content so far, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell on your way out. Project number 2, scrap wood bunny decor. So I'm going through my stash still, and I'm trying to use up all these pieces. Now this is just an old laser piece that my husband had on his side of the stash. I just cut it to the size that I wanted here. And I'm going to decoupage this beautiful bunny image onto this piece and make this a cute little shelf liner. But first we're going to come in and just rough up all those edges by ripping off the ends here and giving it a kind of rustic look here with those rip edge pieces. Now if you want this image, you can go on over to Facebook, look up Crafty Basket Case, and she has a bunch of free printables for you guys to use. Come in and put that simple Mod Podge on the back and then also on my wood piece here. And then I come in also and feather in around those edges with that same Mod Podge, making sure that image is firmly planted on my wood. Now, as far as my printer is concerned, I just have a regular ink printer, and I don't know the name, but I'm going to come in and heat set that image so we don't have ink smearing, and it's just going to help also with that Mod Podge. With Van Dyke Glaze, we are coming in and adding our first layer of paint or wax here and giving this a weathered wood look underneath, putting on that Van Dyke Glaze by Dixie Belle and then wiping it off, then coming back in with Dixie Belle's drop cloth and feathering in a dry brush technique onto our surface as well. Now I am using a light hand and adding layers as I go until I reach the depth and color that I want for our piece. It's easier to add more paint than to remove excess paint, so that's how I went ahead and did this. Now mixing up some Mod Podge with some cinnamon, we're going to give this a faux textured and rustic look to our piece here. And coming in and just tapping away on my brush with our mixture all around those edges, and then come in with your heat gun to help dry everything up. I will go ahead and finish the piece here, just framing off all the surrounding edges of our print here and adding a little bit of texture. Then we come in with our DIY, actually our Dixie Belle Best Stain Wax in the color black, even deepening up that tone and up that rust here, our faux rust, and add in that layer of wax to add more depth to our piece. Come in with a little bit of our ink here in the walnut, I think walnut by Tim Holtz here, and I go ahead and blend that in, really concentrating on those rip page edges of our piece. Now you add a lot of layers and a lot of texture to your piece. It just brings your pieces, I feel, a little bit more to life and a little bit more of a rustic look for the piece that I am going for here. Continue that process of just feathering in that walnut stain ink, and then we'll go ahead and move on to our next technique here. So I made this resin casting with some IOD molds, and I just painted it up in a faux rust look using that same cinnamon technique with our Mod Podge, black paint, brown paint, and some cinnamon. So I decided to add this in embellishing our wood piece because I do want to bring in a lot of those rust elements to this piece. Now I also want to add a cute little bow here, so I come in with some muslin strips of fabric, a velvet green ribbon, as well as layers of pink, I believe just like a muslin cloth here, and then finish it off with lace. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop one side of my bow and the other side of the bow, and then I'm just going to get an extra piece of string and then tie that in the center, double knotting that in the back. After you knot that up in the back, you want to go ahead and fluff out your bow and maneuver the bow how you want. I added 2 knots to this piece, and then here I am just fluffing out my bow the way I want it as well. Now you can add as much fabric as you want here and as much layering, longer tails if you want. And then I decided to come in with a little bit of greenery first, so I went ahead and stapled that into our wood board. Added our bow with some just simple hot glue, and then I decided to come in and add a little bit more embellishment at the bottom. So I have these little pieces of metal here, or a little, I don't know, it's aluminum, I guess. We're gonna go ahead and continue that faux rust look here, just layering up pieces. Like I said, that rustic look here with some cinnamon, Mod Podge, some black paint, and then layer up that cinnamon again. Sprinkle in a little bit more, and then we'll go ahead and pull those off and finish everything off with some DIY black wax. I'm going to attach these to the edges of our piece here. Just with some hot glue or some E6000. I finish it off with a cute little bedazzle button to bring in some little glam to our piece. Add a little bit more rust into her dress. And then here is that finished look, you guys. Let me know what you guys think about this one down in the comments. Just took a simple scrap piece of wood, some cinnamon I know everybody has in their cupboards. I found a free printable I can use. The only thing I paid for was basically my ribbon, my little cutesy button, and of course the little details that we put in this. But you know, go in your rooms, look for your scrap pieces of wood that you can just transform into beautiful decor for spring, Easter, whatever, because bunnies are perfect all year round. Shop more IOD, Fusion, and Dixie Belle products with my affiliate link to Julie's Designs and Signs. I have that link in the description, as well as supplies, home decor, and floral. A one-stop shop with a $9 flat rate shipping. So save and reuse my link and help my content here on YouTube. Thank you all for your support. Moving into project number 3, I have a basket here that I'm done with. I hadn't used it in my home for a while, but I want to give this a weathered wood wicker look, which I love in my home, so I hope you guys do too. So I'm bringing in just this wash I created with brown paint and a little bit of black paint that gives you this weathered wood kind of look. You can also use this to stain wood if you want. For you guys that are very sensitive to stains like I am, I love to use washes instead. So I'm going to go ahead and layer up that wash, set that aside to dry. Then we're going to come in with this framings mold by IOD. I don't know if it has a name to it. I will have to look that up, but if I find it, I'll go ahead and post it here on the bottom of the screen for you. Coming in with my DOS air dry clay, and we're going to smooth out that clay and bring in a beautiful framing to this piece. Now I must have really cut into that clay when I rolled it, so the inside of our molding is not quite making it here, and I didn't want to piece it together, so instead we're going to come in with a different alternative. I'm going to use that same outer clay framing here with this beautiful detailing on it, and to glue everything I coming in with this simple Gorilla Glue in a clear color, and then I come in with some coffee stained linen here. This is just hand coffee stained linen fabric. And then on top of that linen fabric, we're going to come in with another framing mold that had a little bit more detail to than the original center of our piece. So I come in and glue everything together, and then we're going to go ahead and set this aside to dry. So once again, guys, this is just a frames mold by IOD. They have frames mold 2 and 3 and so on and so forth. But you can pick that up with that affiliate link. So now that our mold is all dry and it's hardened, we're going to come in and dinging this up. I'm coming in with Dixie Belle's Best Dang Wax in the color black. And we are going to add variations of tone and depth to this with that wax, coming in also into that basket, as well as coming in with a rag and then smoothing everything in. And with this transfer book here, also by IOD, I will go ahead and add some yellow florals here. I know this is quite not the shabby chic vibe, kind of turned into the little rustic cottage vibe here, but after filming I got into yellow, so we're gonna go with the yellow here. You just simply rub on your transfer, but because I put that wax on there, I did put a little bit of Mod Podge before I rubbed on my transfer, and then we're gonna seal this up again with some black wax. To embellish and soften this piece even further, we're coming in with some different strips of fabric, some lace, and some coffee stained muslin. I'm gonna go ahead and attach little bits of greenery into our little piece here, finish everything off with a button, and then you guys, this piece is all done. You can stage this up however you like in your home. I just kind of stage it up with some little plates here, put in a little bit more greenery and some cloth in there, and this is just a cute little piece to add to your decor, with that label being its focal point. Look how beautiful this is. Not very shabby chic, but very rustic, dingy cottage look. So let me know what you guys think of this one down in those comments as well. If you want to catch me live, you can over on my Facebook business page at 8:30 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And don't forget, you can shop with me over on Facebook as well on Marketplace, or message me if interested. For more crafting fun and event lives, come over to the Hot Mess Express, which is our business page, and join our group. To end our video, I'm going to give you some basket ideas and staging. So I thrifted these pieces, and although this is a pretty basket color, it's not really a color I use in my home. I like more of that weathered wood tone that you can accomplish with Van Dyke glaze as well by Dixie Belle. But we're going to come in with this beautiful wash that we created. Don't forget, you can use this on wood pieces as well. But look at these beautiful baskets.